Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch, January 11th edition. Taking a look here at the culmination of Doppler radars across the state. You can see most of that rainfall occurring in central California north. Not the crazy thunderstorms yesterday, more of a stratiform precipitation, but we do have winter weather advisory across some of the higher terrain. This rainfall is going to continue on through Northern California for the next few days. Some excessive rainfall is possible as well. And then we're going to bring some stronger storms into the California area here as we go on into the weekend, early into next week. We'll take a look at those here in a moment as well. So looking at what's going on, you can see the mid-level water vapor loop we're looking at. There's Washington, Oregon, California here. Look at this giant low pressure system out here steering this atmospheric river towards the west coast of North America here. Check out all these little mesoscale lows spinning around that monster low out here across the Pacific. Quite an interesting look here on the mid-level water vapor loop. Taking a look a little bit closer here, and you can see we've got the southerly flow that's going to bring this precipitation over the next few days into the state. And then as we go through this weekend, you see a stronger low start to arrive here for Northern California on in through Saturday morning, shown there. And then as we go on in through Sunday afternoon, you notice this low pressure developing out here, and it moves towards central California. This would bring some nice rainfall all the way down through Southern California, renewed flooding threats with that. This would be shown Monday morning, but pretty dynamic low pressure system moving into central California, shown there. Nice pressure gradient on the south side, some windy conditions as well. Nice snows would fall across the Sierra Nevada in this scenario also. We'll continue to watch the track of this storm as we go through the next couple of days as well. But the storm train looks like it's going to continue here for Southern California. This is looking at precipitable water, and this is kind of an anomaly here, showing the anomalous moisture content of this atmospheric river moving towards California. There's the Hawaiian Islands here. There's Oregon, California shown there. Put that into motion, and you can see this moisture continue to impact, especially Northern California for the next couple of days. Thursday afternoon shown here. You can see the cold front starting to move towards the area here. Not quite that strong of a system, but it's going to continue to bring moisture and precipitation to California. And then as we go through Saturday, that stronger low pressure system moves through Northern California here. Precipitable water values are still high. Atmospheric river for Southern California would continue on in through this weekend. And then the stronger system starts to arrive here. You can see that cyclone curling in there and bringing some pretty good rainfall amounts, probably renewing the flood threat down there through Southern California as we go on in through early next week. Then potentially we may start to get a break here on in through later the following week, but that's still a ways out at this point, and we have a ways to go to get there. Now take a look at total precipitation that can be expected in inches here. This is according to the European model, hot off the presses. Central California, Northern California, and the Bay Area getting some decent amounts as we go here on through Thursday. But the bulk of this kind of stays off the coastline here, which is a good thing, because this would be pretty dynamic flooding if we had this over the main portion of Northern California here. But then we move into Friday and Saturday, and you can see those precipitation amounts really start to rise here. Look at some of the coastal areas getting into some pretty robust precipitation amounts up towards 6 inches here. Then we get a front moving all the way down through Southern California here as we go through Saturday night, even San Diego down towards the peninsula there in Mexico. And then the stronger system starts to arrive here, and you can see these precipitation values starting to get fairly high again down there towards Santa Barbara, Ventura County, the coastline all the way down through Southern California as we continue this active weather pattern here as we go on in through next week. Now looking at wind gust here. This is the NAM3 CAML high resolution model here. And you can see as we go through the next 60 hours, mainly those winds are going to be confined the Bay Area northward here and some of the higher terrain. Not too bad for Southern California, but some of the higher terrain, you get some gusty winds showing up there. This is the European max 10-meter wind gusts. It's just an accumulation of the highest wind gusts. And you can see that first system moving through the weekend here, Northern California, some big gusts here possible for some of the valley areas and for the higher terrain, depending on the strength of this low pressure system that moves in. And as we go on in through this week, look at this fetch of wind here, and you can see these big gusts moving towards Southern California and the southern central coastline there. We'll continue to watch that one too, because any change in the depth of that low pressure is going to cast a potentially powerful gradient down through Southern California here as we go on in through Monday and Tuesday of next week. And this is kind of a common sight. When I was down there for a couple of days, a lot of road washouts, a lot of landslides, a lot of localized flooding here. Creeks were high. There were some houses being flooded out. And I'm sure you guys saw probably a lot of these scenes as well. Big sediment deposits across a lot of the area, big boulders washing up on the roadway. Kind of crazy at times down there, but just showing you a few images here. And this is kind of what landslides that were going on, you know, kind of just hillsides coming down across and blocking some of the roadways. But anyway, this is down through Southern California. They're talking about the surf down there, 2 small craft advisories, large seas. So just a heads up for that down there across a nice graphic here from the National Weather Service Los Angeles shown here. This is the excessive rainfall outlook. This is day 1 here. You can see Bay Area north here for some slight risk here with that rainfall moving in now. Here's day 2. Kind of concentrates on the Northern California coast there. Day 3 extends down past the Bay Area here, but just marginal for now. Could be upgraded as we go. Now, as we look here, this is day 1 through 3 winter storm impacts. Not quite as bad as it has been across the Sierras, but still going to be some moderate or major impact for some areas, especially the higher terrain there, including Northern California up towards Mount Shasta. This is the actual amount of snowfall that's run through this here. And as we go on in through this week and see that next storm come in here, bring some additional snow for the Sierra Nevada, then we go through early next week, and that next snowfall will arrive with that powerful system moving through Southern California as it looks right now. But you can see a lot of these areas across the Sierra Nevada getting additional big amounts of snowfall here, especially the higher terrain. So we're going to have to watch out for past impacts as well. Traveling back and forth is not going to be easy here as we go through the weekend and on into early next week across the Sierra Nevada. This is day 4 excessive rainfall outlook as well, kind of highlighting that as you go on in through Saturday's storm, the additional precipitation moving into the area. Now this is 6 to 10-day precipitation probability outlook. You can clearly see the bullseye in California, Nevada, off into Utah there. A little bit less through Southern California there. This is 8 to 14 day though. It looks like we may potentially get a break here for California. Hopefully, fingers crossed here. We could use a break before we bring some more precipitation in there. Things are very saturated across the state. Now, taking a look here, this is percent of average precipitation over the last 7 days. Some of California's got over 800%, 8 times the normal amount across some of the Sierra Nevadas up towards western Nevada there, sorry. And some of Southern California, the Central Coast up for Northern California has got over 2 to 4 to 8 times their normal precipitation amounts here over the last week. This is for the Bay Area down through Southern California here as of October 13th, about a 3-month period here, and you can still see Central California down through Southern California doing well precipitation-wise. But look as you go out to 6 months here. Actually, this is a full year. Sorry, this is January 11th all the way through January 10th. Still much of California is actually below average precipitation. That's still why we're dealing with some drought across the state here. Now, this is looking at La Nina here. We are in La Nina conditions currently. This is January, but you can see the models climbing out. And once you get negative 0.5 or higher temperatures, you move into neutral conditions. And when you get 0.5 or higher, you move into El Nino conditions here. And as we go through February, March, April, May, June, July, look at what's happening across the south coast of South America here, across the equatorial Pacific here, that's starting to warm up. And that looks like El Nino conditions are potentially on the way here across Pacific Ocean here. And you guys know what that means for California. Well, a lot of you do anyway, but that means higher than normal precipitation amounts generally, as the jet stream can be pointed into California here. So maybe we'll be dealing with an active winter on in through next year as well. We'll continue to watch that as we get closer to that event. But you can see here that La Nina's been dominating across the equatorial Pacific here, below average temperatures. But look, you start to see some yellows and oranges mixing in here, and that's bringing some above average temperatures in here. And the water here along the coast of South America is starting to warm up there, which means neutral and El Nino conditions are probably coming here in the next year or two after a 3-year straight La Nina period here across the equatorial Pacific. So finally, that looks like that La Nina spell is going to be broken here. So anyway, yeah, we're going to continue this on for probably at least another week here for much of the state of California here. We'll continue to watch these systems roll in. I'm kind of interested in that system diving down towards Southern California there with the Monday and Tuesday storm there. So we'll continue to watch that. It's a pretty strong looking storm. So, but anyway, yeah, I'll continue to cover California as long as the weather stays active here. I also do Pacific Northwest weather briefings daily as well. I'll continue to cover other portions of the country as they get busy also here. But yeah, anyway, it was fun being down there for a couple of days. It looked like there was some pretty good damage, but nothing catastrophic going on down there. It was pretty interesting watching everything going on. We watched the Highway 101 there down towards Ventura get flooded over there and blocked up traffic pretty bad for 3 or 4 hours. And looks like Santa Barbara was kind of isolated there for a full day or so. But anyway, fun little trip down there. I'll continue to cover California, like I said. And guys, click like, subscribe, turn on your notifications if you want. If you want to join the channel too and help support it, you can click the join button you see just underneath the video here. Just go ahead and click on that if you like. But anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you then.